Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Secretary Ray Chua, Chairman of the Commission on ICT, for your introduction. Thank you also to President Vince Pabella for your very kind words of welcome and for showing me an example of your adept classes. I'd like to introduce also the Chairman of CHED, Manny Angeles, our new Press Secretary, June Igban, and my special fond greeting to one of the ladies of my father's, one of the cabinet ladies, Mrs. Marinela Pabella, of my father's time. I am really very happy to be here at JRU. And although it is not the reason why I am here now, I'm happy to hear the recollection of Vince about Armand Pabella, revered member of the Pabella family, who founded this school. He was one of the youngest cabinet members of my late father's administration. He was the head of the Program Implementation Agency, which later on, combined with the National Economic Council, became the National Economic and Development Authority. And as Vince said, well, no, I will add the commentary. He was so young in my father's cabinet that 40 years later, in my own administration, I was still able to tap him to be chairman of the UCPB. And he led a team that turned that bank around from an insolvent bank to now a going concern. So I'd like to thank him for that posthumously. One of the things that President Vince did not point out to you is that one of my favorite laws that I passed when I was a senator was the expanded build, operate, and transfer law, which improved the BOT law and expanded it to other private sector participation in physical infrastructure. And one of the most important resource persons I had, sitting, if I was here defending the bill, sitting right there in the gallery, whispering to me all the answers to the technical questions, was no other than analyst, consultant Vince Pabella. So I thank him for that. And the result of that law, I think you can see all over Metro Manila and the provinces. All the BOT projects being built, the North Luzon Expressway, the South Luzon Expressway, the Skyway, the Caticlan Airport, and so many others. So I'm glad to be here. And I was happy that the last time I was here for the installation of Dr. Pabella as president of your university. Now I am here as part of a tour of the super regions to review our legacy of accomplishments. The super regions were designed to decongest Metro Manila and spread development. They are Agribusiness Mindanao, Tourism Central Philippines, the North Luzon Agribusiness Quadrangle, the Luzon Urban Beltway, and the Cyber Corridor. Mandaluyong, where we are, Metro Manila, where we are, belongs both to the Luzon Urban Beltway and the Cyber Corridor. The Cyber Corridor is made up of the strongest actual and potential locations for ICT investments, including call centers, back office, software development, medical transcription, engineering design, animation, game development, and others. It currently houses 750 call centers and BPO companies and counting. And these companies are served by 3 high-bandwidth backbone and digital networks. What composes the Cyber Corridor is jointly identified and periodically updated by the private sector, the academe, and government. For now, it starts from the north, from Metro Pampanga, and goes down to the south in Davao City. It includes, of course, Metro Manila and Metro Cebu, which are the country's two original ICT centers of excellence, and 10 urban areas being promoted as the so-called 10 next wave cities to be the best new destinations of the ICT industry. Metro Laguna, Metro Cavite, Iloilo, Davao, Bacolod, Metro Pampanga, Metro Bulacan, Cagayan de Oro, Central Bulacan, and Lipa. And ranked among the top 50 cities worldwide as suited for BPO are Cebu, Pasig, Quezon City, and Mandaluyong. These are worldwide choices of the top 50, so I congratulate Mandaluyong and its citizens like JRU. And I like to believe that JRU is a factor as identified by the world's industry for Mandaluyong's potential for BPO and ICT, because you offer, aside from a BS in IT, a BS in engineering, you're adept. I understand that there are only 20 schools offering adept. This is a 6-unit course that at the end of the 6 units brings about a 60 or 70% chance of your being taken in for a job in a BPO or ICT industry. And so more power to JRU and more power to our students going through the ADEPT program. So I came here because they arranged for me a look-in, a drop-in into an ADEPT class. Because if we are to visit any super region, visits to schools are an essential backdrop. Like for instance, in ICT and BPO, we cannot have that without the schools providing the manpower to be able to make that industry flourish. And that is true of every super region. So we must visit the schools, especially because I want to reach out to the youth of this nation. You, the youth, are our future. The future of this nation depends on the next generation. The Philippines has come a long way since January 2001. Most of you were kids at that time, so you probably don't remember much about that tumultuous time less than 10 years ago. Even for your titas and your lolas, they probably have forgotten that at that time, the nation was on the brink of political chaos and financial bankruptcy. The economy was jammed in reverse. Few investments were being made. Few jobs were being created. The debt of the government and its corporations, I believe including UCPB at that time, of 3.6 trillion pesos was bigger than our GDP of 3.3 trillion pesos. There were almost no foreign reserves. It was a time of lower salaries and higher prices. Tax revenues were so low that we could hardly invest in expanding healthcare, improving education, and providing clean water and needed electricity to remote barangays. Into this dismal picture we stepped. I did not seek the office of the president in 2001. It was thrust upon me. But rather than shirk from this onerous task, we rolled up our sleeves, determined to turn the Philippines around. We were focused like a laser beam on delivering real results to better the lives of ordinary Filipinos.